68% of our community said speaking is the most difficult section of the TOEFL, and among those learners, 70% said listen and repeat is the hardest speaking activity. So if you're struggling with it, you're definitely not alone. Today, I'll share 3 simple tips that can help you handle longer sentences with more confidence. Hi, welcome to English Hack. I'm Elliot, your English study partner. TOEFL, along with IELTS, is one of the most widely accepted English tests for university, graduate school, and MBA admissions around the world. In January 2026, TOEFL was updated with several changes, including a new speaking task called Listen and Repeat. At first glance, it looks simple. You just listen and repeat. But many learners quickly discover that it's much harder than it sounds. In fact, 70% of our community said listen and repeat is the most difficult speaking activity. So today, I'll share 3 simple tips that can make it a little easier. Tip 1. Break sentences into chunks. One of the biggest challenges in listen and repeat is dealing with longer sentences. Many learners can repeat short sentences without much trouble, but once the sentence gets longer, it becomes much harder to repeat smoothly. That's because they're trying to process the entire sentence as one piece. Instead, break the sentence into smaller chunks. For example, the theater opens every day at 10 a.m. except on holidays. Can be divided into the theater opens every day / at 10 a.m. / except on holidays. When it's time to repeat, you don't have to produce one long sentence all at once. You can simply say one chunk at a time. This makes your speech sound more organized, natural, and confident. This makes longer sentences much easier to repeat. Now let's put this tip into practice. Practice 1.
The museum offers free admission on Sundays. The museum offers free admission on Sundays.
Were you able to identify the chunks? Here's one possible breakdown. The museum offers / free admission / on Sundays. Practice 2.
Visitors can join a guided tour of the museum every afternoon. Visitors can join a guided tour of the museum every afternoon.
How about this one? Did you find the chunks? Let's take a look. Visitors can join / a guided tour, / of the museum / every afternoon. Did you notice how much easier these sentences became once they were divided into chunks? So the next time you practice listen and repeat, don't think in sentences. Think in chunks. Now let's move on to tip number 2. Tip 2. Write down key initials. The second tip is, write down key initials. Many learners know they can take notes during the speaking section, but they often try to write down too much information. That's a problem. If you're busy writing every word, you may miss the rest of the sentence. Instead, focus only on the key words, and rather than writing the entire word, write only the first letter. For example, the museum offers free admission on Sundays. Using our note-taking system, it becomes TMOFAOS, much shorter, but it still helps you remember the whole sentence. So, how does this work? Let's look at the simple rules. Rule 1. Content words become capital letters. For example, museum becomes M. Rule 2. Function words become lowercase letters. For example, the becomes T, and on becomes O. Now let's look at the sentence again. The museum offers free admission on Sundays becomes TMOFAOS. That's often enough to help you remember the sentence later. Simple, fast, and easy to write down. Remember, your notes don't need to be perfect. They're simply memory triggers. And here's another important point. Don't rush to start speaking. You have enough time to organize your thoughts before you begin. Taking an extra second to look at your notes is completely okay. The goal is not to start speaking immediately. The goal is to speak accurately. Now let's put this tip into practice. Practice 1.
The library closes at 10 every night. The library closes at 10 every night.
How did you write your notes? Using our note-taking system, your notes might look like this. TLCA10EN. Remember the rules. Content words become capital letters. Function words become lowercase letters. Numbers stay as numbers. Even though the notes are much shorter, they still give you enough information to remember the entire sentence. Practice 2.
The students are waiting for the bus. The students are waiting for the bus.
How did you write your notes? Using our note-taking system, your notes might look like this. TSAW4, TB. Notice something new? Common words can also be shortened. For example, 4 can be number 4, 2 can be number 2, and can be symbol and. These shortcuts make your notes even faster to write without losing important information. Your notes don't need to be perfect. They just need to trigger your memory. Now, let's move on to tip 3. Tip 3. Pay attention to small details. This tip is simple, but it's extremely important. Pronounce every detail clearly. In the TOEFL speaking test, it's not enough to communicate the main idea. You also need to speak accurately. The new TOEFL uses AI-powered speech recognition as part of the scoring process. That means it's important not only for people to understand you, but also for the system to recognize what you say correctly. Many learners focus on important words like nouns and verbs, but they often skip small words like a, the, to, and for. They may also forget endings like s. These details may seem small, but they're actually very important. So when you practice listen and repeat, don't just try to finish the sentence. Focus on pronouncing every single word clearly, including the small ones. Don't think it's just a small word. Every word matters. The more accurately you pronounce every detail, the easier it is for AI to understand you. That can help you achieve a higher speaking score. You've learned 3 simple tips to improve your TOEFL speaking. Let's quickly review the 3 tips. Tip 1. Break sentences into chunks. Tip 2. Write down key initials. Tip 3. Pay attention to small details. Many learners practice listen and repeat, but don't see the progress they expect. The key isn't just practicing more, it's practicing smarter. Use these 3 tips every time you practice, listen and repeat, and make every session count. If you found this video helpful, please like this video and leave a comment below. English Hack is always here to support you. See you in the next lesson!